All right, today we are zeroing in on a really fascinating piece of history. We're going to see how global conflicts, ruthless dictators, and yeah, even one of the biggest TV shows in recent memory are all connected. So how on earth do all these things relate? I know. It sounds like the beginning of a really weird joke, right? You've got this global streaming sensation on one side and a notorious dictator on the other. But the link between them is probably not what you're thinking. That's right. The answer is all about the firearms that basically define an entire era of tension and, well, incredible technological leaps. So let's dive into three very different sharpshooter rifles, each with its own amazing story and legacy. Okay, first up, we've got a rifle that wasn't built for a glamour shot. Oh no. It was built for one thing: sheer numbers and rock-solid reliability. This is the Mosin-Nagant, and it's pretty much the definition of a battlefield workhorse. So the Mosin-Nagant story actually starts way back in the Russian Empire, but it became an absolute fixture of the early Cold War. See, this was an era defined by the threat of these huge land armies, and you had to arm millions of conscripts. So its entire identity was just accessibility. It was made to be churned out on a massive scale. Now, what's so interesting here is the whole philosophy behind it. The goal wasn't to create the world's most accurate weapon, not at all. It was to create a good enough weapon that you could put into the hands of millions of soldiers from the Soviet Union to its allies all over the world. It was tough, super easy to maintain, and dirt cheap to make. And this, right here, is what's truly amazing about it: its longevity. I mean, the design is so fundamentally tough that decades after the Cold War supposedly ended, you can still find the Mosin-Nagants popping up in conflicts all over the world. It's a real testament to that simple, super effective design. Now, as the Cold War moved along, so did the weapons. And here, we're shifting gears big time. We're going from a rifle made for the masses to one that became a true status symbol: the SVD Dragunov. The Dragunov, developed by the Soviet Union right in the middle of the Cold War, was a completely different beast. It wasn't really a sniper rifle in the way we think of it today. It was a designated marksman's rifle. You can kind of think of it as a bridge between a standard infantry rifle and a specialized sniper rifle. It was all about giving a regular squad some extra reach, and boy, did it quickly become the standard. But the Dragunov story goes way beyond just its military purpose. Its look, that distinctive, sleek profile, and its effectiveness made it something people really wanted. In a lot of conflicts, if you were carrying a Dragunov, it wasn't just about firepower. It was a statement. You were somebody. And honestly, nothing proves that point better than this. When U.S. forces captured Saddam Hussein, what did they find among his personal things? A gold-plated SVD Dragunov. It had gone from being a tool of war to a literal collector's item for the powerful and the infamous. Okay, for our final rifle, we're taking another huge leap forward, both in technology and in thinking. We're moving from the icon to the ultimate specialist's tool, the Heckler & Co. PSG-1. This rifle, developed in West Germany during the late Cold War, really represents the peak of precision engineering for its time. You see, it was born from a totally new kind of threat: terrorism. After terrible events like the 1972 Munich massacre, the focus shifted to surgical, high-stakes law enforcement operations. This wasn't a standard-issue rifle. It was a surgical instrument. So its entire purpose was completely different. I mean, while the Mosin-Nagant was arming entire armies, the PSG-1 was built for just a handful of elite police and special forces units. Its one and only job was to achieve unbelievable accuracy. We're talking pinpoint precision, often in incredibly tense hostage situations. And that brings us right back to our opening question. The PSG-1 has such a unique, almost futuristic look that it's become this kind of cinematic shorthand for any elite, high-tech sharpshooter. And that's exactly why the creators of Squid Game chose it for those mysterious masked soldiers. So what happens when we put these three rifles side by side? Well, what you really see is a story about the evolution of warfare itself. This timeline just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? You start with the mass-produced workhorse of the early Cold War. Then you move to the iconic designated marksman's rifle of the mid-era. And you end with the high-tech, specialized tool of the later years. It's like watching an arms race in miniature. So really, what this all boils down to is this: these aren't just three different guns. They represent three completely different philosophies of warfare. Do you win by overwhelming your enemy with numbers? Do you win with symbolic power and tactical flexibility? Or Do you win by having the absolute most precise tool for one specific job? And that really just leaves us with a final thought to chew on. The Mosin-Nagant is legendary because they made millions of them. The PSG one is legendary for its surgical accuracy. And the Dragunov, well, it's legendary because of the powerful people who carried it. It really makes you wonder what the true measure of a legacy really is. Thanks for watching.